Good afternoon. This is Jesse, and you're listening to the Space Coast Real Estate Show. And we're very excited. We have more than just the three of us in here today. We're actually featuring a great guest, excellent personality. We're blessed to have him here on the Space Coast, and we're going to dive into him real quick. Michelle, John, how are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Excellent. You guys sound perfect. Man, I'm going to give all the credit to Michelle, by the way, for reeling this guest in. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been trying to negotiate with him in his office. But now, would you like to do the introduction?
I would love to.
Perfect.
This is Mayor Mike Blake from the city of Cocoa. Mike and I go back a little ways to 2012, I believe it was.
Yes.
When we taught together at Clear Lake Middle School there in Cocoa.
Oh, okay.
And
Teachers together.
Yeah, we
Fun.
taught together there at Clear Lake Middle School, and then for 2 years, and then had to part our ways when Cocoa Middle School and the middle school and high school merged, and he went on to the high school, and I came to Inspiring Homes. But we've run into each other a couple times since then, and at the mayor's breakfast that I was a part of a couple months ago.
Always a great event. Yeah.
So I hijacked him for a minute and said, hey, we need you. So just reconnected, and it's been great. He's a great personality, great human being, does a lot for the city of Cocoa, loves his students, loves Cocoa, and I'm just excited to hear what he has to say today.
Yeah, I think pre-show, Mayor, you said you just came from class.
Correct.
Yeah.
So juggling a couple different things going on. How does that work?
Time consuming, needless
Yeah.
to say, but you know how to manage and operate your time wisely.
Sure.
So, needless to say, I enjoyed. In the political arena again for the fourth time, starting my fourth term. I've done that, thank God. I've done a total of 3 terms as mayor, starting the third term as mayor. I did 1 term as a councilman, so that's the reason why I'm saying really 4.
Right, that makes sense.
Yes, sir. And the beautiful thing about it is about, being flexible, just like being a parent, being a teacher, being a podcast owner, dealing with real estate. You all know the rigmarole.
Yep,
So, yes, it's a wonderful thing, yes.
How demanding is a job as mayor?
Oh, man. Well, let me say it this way. I reside on the main fairway, 520. My home is just a stone's throw away from 520, Blake and 520. I purchased my grandparents' house. And at all hours of the night and morning, they will knock on your door, knock, and make a complaint. And it's like, holy, I do have another job besides.
It sounds like you need to rescue a guard dog.
Yes. But, I signed up for it, so I'm dealing with it. And it has its rewarding moments.
Well, to be, having purchased, the historical property, 3 generations, how many generations has your family been in town?
Oh, my grandfather, grandmother, that's 1. My dad is 2, 3.
Okay.
3 generations. Yes, sir.
Is the street named after your family?
Yes, sir. My grandparents.
That's awesome.
You all have been doing your due diligence.
No, I just heard the name, and you said Blake Street, and I was like, oh,
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yes, it was dedicated after my grandparents, Virgil and Bertha Blake, from the great state of Georgia.
Oh,
Excellent.
So yes, they migrated here in Brevard County, and the rest is history.
What,
fantastic.
May I ask what attracted them?
Citrus. My grandfather.
Citrus. See,
citrus.
There's only a couple industries. You're going back 90 years, say.
Yes, easy.
3 generations. So, you're talking about the turn of the 20th century, and that's all there was. Either it worked with Flagler on the railroad, or something else like that. But there really was no industry. So you're building roads, building railroads, or citrus, pineapples, bananas. Agriculture.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the claim of fame, and that's what brought my grandfather Virgil Blake here to the Sunshine State. I'm happy to say they actually moved to what we call South Rockledge, Bonaventure.
Yeah.
On the south side of Rockledge, and my grandfather came first, and then my grandmother, followed, and they came.
That's a great story.
Early 1900s, or let's say the early 19 teens. I've just said it that way. Yes.
Well, that's a lot of legacy. The street, the house. that's got to be pretty. I mean, what a blessing, you know. I mean, that to be able to not only keep up the family home, but you know, that it still exists. A lot of people don't have that privilege. You know, some people don't have a home that's ever been in a family for more than one generation.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it, I count it all joy, and to show the, family heirlooms, pictures, photos, et cetera, it's amazing sometimes when I'm sitting there at the house and it's quiet. Right. I have that moment of serenity, and I just ponder over the history of the family house. So, and who will I turn that over to, eventually someday one day.
And maybe a mausoleum or some kind of museum, for a tourist. Maybe like a sanctuary, like this is where, stood the mighty Michael Blake.
One day at a time, Jesse. That's all I can say. One day at a time.
Mayor's like, I'm not ready yet.
So what's the most rewarding thing as mayor that you get to do besides answer the door at 11 p.m.?
Okay, to see people experience success, to point them in the right direction, assist and aid them so that they can come up with a sound resolution or solution to whatever scenario they're facing, and just to see the gleam and the glow in their face. You get those phone calls like with teaching, when the kids graduate, or walking across the podium. I mean, you all can identify. We all can. We graduated from school and post-secondary, et cetera, and graduate school, undergraduate. But the thing is just to see people do well and experience success where they have been turned away or shunned away, and it's a good feeling. And
I could imagine that. What a privilege to see. Maybe even somebody that wasn't a junior, senior. You watch them from like a 13-year-old now an 18-year-old, and the changes and I mean that's where. As humans, I mean, that's where we grow probably the most. That's accelerated, like no other time in the rest of your life. Do you go through so much dynamic change, and everything's changing around you.
We always have those people in our academic careers that we remember always.
We always have a favorite. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the beautiful thing about teaching, and we all can identify just knowing people as well as marrying a teacher, being able to recall that person's name. You know what I'm saying? John so-and-so, Sonny so-and-so, Sally Cucumber, and it's like, it's startling to them. You remember, of course, and it's, thank God, the ability to have the ability to retain and retrieve that information. That's why I'm bald-headed, brother.
Too much thinking, huh?
That's it, too much.
So were you yourself a good student?
Yes. My parents were from the old school. Both of my parents were educators.
Okay.
So we were like the Puritans. If you didn't learn it, they had the Bible script on the paddle. We're going to beat it in you, man. So either way, you will get it.
That's how it works.
And were you academically proficient, or were other things in your life as well?
There were other things. I mean, I had the ability to, once graduating from college, do professional kickbox karate.
Nice.
In 1987, played with the Miami Dolphins, the legendary Don Shula, Coach Don Shula.
Oh, fantastic.
Mr. Football, Mr. NFL, I don't care how you label it,
Love
color
Don.
it,
Big
he's
fans.
the man.
Yeah.
No doubt, no reservations or hesitations. And after that period went by, when I got in my early 30s, my father called me in and said, Michael, you're not getting any younger. You need a secured future.
Right.
And the rest is history. So that's how I entered into the teaching field.
Nice.
Really? So what inspired you? Did you have a favorite teacher that you grew up with, that you inspired to be?
Oh, absolutely. Many teachers growing up. St. Mary's. Now, I attended St. Mary's from kindergarten to second grade, and dealing with my good Irish sisters, those nuns, man, that Irish accent. Michael,
Yep.
One way or another, there again, not meaning to be redundant, but the wood is good. La Madera es bueno. The wood is good. Everyone, so yeah.
I had nuns in my life as well.
So
I know what's up with that.
Yes, and then went to public school after St. Mary's. And the rest there, Cocoa High School, yay, Cocoa Tiger Pride, yes. And attended Kennedy Middle School. I crossed the Mason-Dixon line and attended Kennedy Middle School and then proceeded to Cocoa High School and then South Carolina State University, Orangeburg, South Carolina. And I'm very happy to say that everything worked out. The plan worked out well for me, with just good support, family support, community support. And now it's the time to turn around and reinvest back into the community from once upon a time I played and had a good time, got my education.
Yeah.
I acquired that.
Well, you know, I'd love to see success stories. I'm sure you guys do as well. And please, if anybody has a question, go ahead and jump right in. But I'm just fascinated. You know, having all that success. You know, a lot of guys who maybe make it, you know, do NFL or something else. Sometimes that, you know, they'll stay in Miami or whatever, you know, that last team that they played with, because they have those relationships, and sometimes they don't always come back home to contribute. I mean, there's value in there, so much value. What has it meant for you to come back and give back?
Well, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's priceless, you know, as you see with the commercials on television. Right. You know, you can pay for everything. You think money is everything, but it's not. It's the small thank yous, those 2 words you don't hear enough.
Amen. Yeah.
And when that hits you in the heart, and, you know, when students tell you, you know, or athletes as well, if it wasn't for your motivation and a little stimulation and verbalization, you know, I wouldn't be successful. And that law applies to us all. And I'm happy to say it's a community effect. You know?
Yeah, it takes a village, as they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but love to have somebody of influence to come home. I mean, it's just a really good story. Right. You know, I mean, I wish I could do that to you know, my school. You know, come back after I've created all these things, and just to go, here guys, you know, and look what I could do for you, and anybody need a mentor, and get back into the community. Yeah,
I mean, and just you know, it doesn't matter where you go in our county, the state, you know, the country. There's so many children that do need positive role models and mentors in their lives, you know, for whatever reason. You know, we've military background here. You know, so many parents are, you know, maybe in the military and not, you know, they're out of the country, you know, on assignments and things for whatever reason. So it's great that you have that. You know, they look up to you not only as a teacher but as the mayor, and you're putting that back into their lives and into the community, because it affects the community long term down the road. And positive influence at a young age definitely builds the community later on. You know, keeps a strong community.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I think my high school was like, thank God that guy's gone.
Good job.
That says a lot about you, John.
I had some fun back then.
Maybe you could go back and show that you've actually improved.
They all know now.
Oh, okay.
They all know now.
Live and in living color, brother.
That's
I see you on the podcast.
So let's ask about your economic development. You know, it seems to be on everybody's you know, tip of the tongue. You know, you just got finished. You know, I know all the mayors love to brag at the mayor's breakfast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of growth.
Oh, I got this, I got that.
There's a lot of growth happening in Brevard.
You have some really good feathers in the cap. So what's your most proudest things going on right now?
First of all, I want to say thank you to our city manager and our illustrious, industrious staff for the great city of Cocos, Dr. Whitten, and everyone from our police department, our fire department, our community development, the whole gamut, the whole ball of wax. It's a team effort. Dream work is teamwork. Amen. And I want to say thanks to our council as well. But the greatest thing right now to me is to continue to enhance our legacy as the city of Cocoa, affectionately known as Hot Chocolate. But proceeding on.
Today, absolutely hot chocolate.
Yes, indeed. That's what I wanted to tell Michelle when she was telling me about the drink. I was going to say.
She brought you some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. It's a win-win situation.
I should have known.
Yes, but as you all know, we talked about Walmart is expanding its business distribution here in the city of Cocoa. They just added several hundred thousands of feet to their building. We have 2 of the world's largest distributors in the nation, in the world, and that's Walmart. And now we have what? Amazon. Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes, and the walls are up, and the construction is taking place, and
jobs.
Yeah. And we're dealing with that scenario too, as well as a municipality, because now normally we would maybe at, you know, $12, $13, $14, $15 with competing Walmart and also Amazon. They're up to $15, $17, and it's negotiation time with us, with our unions. both, fire, water. Sorry, that's our claim to fame, liquid gold, and police department.
Yeah.
So they're paying more. So that's a concern all municipalities are facing with the wage increase, which is good. I mean,
Right.
competition brings out the best of us, and that's the beautiful thing
course.
I like
Right.
about that. Even though I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm a pro Republican. I believe in big business.
You're allowed to have, opinions on all kinds of different things. You know, you don't have to stick
Yeah.
to just one, set of outlines or whatever, that a
Right.
party
Wish
might
everyone
take.
was like that nowadays.
Well, because you got to be flexible. It's
Yeah.
you can't be just one way or the other. But of
course.
being pro business, being a pro champion, pro growth.
Industry.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be. I mean, that's what makes America so competitive.
Right.
Absolutely.
All around the world, they want us. From the freedom and the air we breathe, all the way to the luxurious products that we have. The homes, the beautiful land, the ranches. Like we're doing. We're not
doing
suffering
something
over
right.
here. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So yeah. Let's not hinder all that because it's been
Yeah.
a blessing for us.
Right.
Oh no,
Right.
I'm pro business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, beyond a
Absolutely.
shadow of a doubt. I
I'll tell you
thrive
what,
on that.
We're all
Go ahead.
business owners here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I promise you that 15 to 17, that's nothing to shake a finger at.
Oh,
I
that's right.
mean, that's a good wage, and
Absolutely.
it's competitive. And these guys are probably not going to go out of business, so you have some security.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're expanding all the time, then there's probably room for advancement as well.
Right.
So if you are a young person and you're looking to get your foot in the door of a promising career in a big bustling business, that
There's
retail,
so many different
the warehousing,
positions there too, like
Oh, yeah.
robotics and
ev-
electronics and
all of it.
computers and
And-
technology and
Yep. IT, analytics,
Yep.
yep.
Absolutely,
everything.
and that's what's going on in the city of Cocoa. Working with Dale Coxwell, he's working with one of the, I guess you can say, missile distributors, ranging from we have Blue Origin
Yep.
to et cetera, et cetera. Well, one of them I'm not going to identify it yet because there's some potential growth there. That they make their products right here. My thing is try to keep everything local. I want you
Yeah.
to buy local, spend local, keep it local.
Yep.
I want you to pray and stay in the great city of Cocoa. The only time you need to go out
pray
of
and
town,
stay.
yes, and live and raise a family.
Yeah.
The only time is just to go visit other family members, and then you bring them back. So that can enhance our economic base as well. Other the great things that's potentially happening in the great city of Cocoa, we're getting ready to have Radisson come in. I'm happy to
Nice.
say we have up to 2,000 home construction coming in the great city of Cocoa.
Oh, those are permits pulled?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very
yes,
cool.
sir. Bree Swept just recently constructed. There's some construction on the Bright Line that's coming in as well. As you know, Brightline owns a property in the great city of Cocoa, I'm happy to say, and I would like for them to have their, we discussed this, we're competing with our sister city down south. I'll say South Cocoa, which is Melbourne, and we're competing with a terminal location between the two of us.
So the Bright Line has rail side property, like along the rail.
Yes, sir.
About how many acres do you think?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
I mean,
I
but-
want to secure the deal. Couple of acres,
Okay.
easily.
Because all it takes for a terminal is really just a platform and a parking lot
And
for
some
people
parking,
to go.
yep.
There's not much to it.
But as you know, the beautiful thing about it, you can be able to travel from Orlando to right here, Brevard County, less than 40 minutes. I mean, the major impact. Eventually, I would like to see it go to the Gulf side, as you know. And who's to say, why not have our own Olympics right here in Orlando, Central Florida? Just think about that.
It's a
for
great,
month.
it's a
That'd be
great
awesome.
location.
Yeah, I mean,
We got the facilities.
thank you.
We just don't have the snow.
We got the Pro Bowl.
It'd
Well,
have to
we're
be the
talking about
summer.
Summer
I know. I was gonna say it'd have to be the Summer Olympics. Is the only thing. Of course.
We pulled the Pro Bowl off the islands.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the soccer league played a major
Right.
game here, and so it's coming, it's happening.
Yeah.
Eventually, I really see potentially the Olympics being here.
Yeah.
With the development of space industry here too as well. I'm happy to say that you can see that the development is having an impact on the great city of Cocoa. We went to VIA. They have their business in the city of Cocoa at the old Traffic Building, located on Brevard Avenue. I want to say 603, but I don't want to make sure. And they have a facility in our industrial area. and they will launch satellites and so forth in the atmosphere of it, stratosphere. So a lot of great things are happening here in the great city of Cocoa. It's going to take a team effort. We need the help with the port. We need the help with Titusville. We need the help with Rockledge, our sister city as well. Under the esteemed leadership Tom Price and Dr. Brenda Fetcher, the city manager there, who was once upon a time a city manager of Cocoa.
Oh.
So she unfortunately, again, jumped across that Mason-Dixon line, but it's okay. She's done some remarkable things here.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just, if I may interject this, a lot of positive downtown development in the downtown Cocoa Village. Eventually, we like to demolish the old Barnett Bank, which is the Bank of America now, and put some nice exclusive condo units or rental units there for my generation, whatever generation this is.
I love the Cocoa Village.
Yes.
Well, the Space Coast Marathon.
You know, they actually have a triathlon there this Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was solicited this morning to announce. I was like, I got plans. It's the day after my birthday. So I'm probably not going to be ready to wake up at 6 a.m. and yell at a bunch of athletes.
I just bought some new bricks. I'm ready to get back in the game.
You're ready? Yeah. So, getting back to like Riverfront, in the Cocoa Village, they have everything from concerts. Like we have a very busy concert season now.
I've seen Eddie Money there.
Yeah, Dewey Brothers. I mean,
great.
I mean, we've all have our own memories of really good musical acts, nationwide tours. And they're coming through Cocoa at the Riverfront. I'll tell you what, if you've never been to this venue,
it's great.
It's outside. It's an open lawn concept.
On the river,
a little amphitheater, and then it hits the water. The sound, because the sound.
Oh yes.
It resonates on water, and water's a very good conduit of sound. And you have people in boats and everything else all throughout the river who could hear the music. I mean, it's just a really special place.
Yeah, it's a great location.
And it's a destination to eat. There's really good restaurants there.
Absolutely.
Dove, Cafe Margot, they have a playhouse. Villa Palma. I mean, there's so many good eating options, entertainment options, and again, it's a beautiful park. You just go down there on the boardwalk and just stare at the river and wildlife.
It's a great night out.
Yeah.
Jesse, can I entice you, John or Michelle, to move to the great city of Cocoa? There's always room at the top.
Yes.
Trust me, one is a lonely number, brothers and sisters.
No kidding,
Come on, yeah.
We have to be diversified to represent the whole county.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, I can't be too much farther from Captain Irons than I already am.
Okay.
Because that's a really good fun time. And also Sebastian Inlet for
Yeah.
fishing and surfing.
I put my boat
So I
in
mean,
there.
if somehow Cocoa just expanded, maybe annexed Rockledge and Melbourne or something,
If I may,
then I'd be in Cocoa.
Oh yeah.
okay. Well, the game plan, depending on how they shape up and develop. If I may place my wish list out there,
Right.
is for Cocoa to go from. Sorry, I'm finally becoming a man. I'm going through that growing change. Is to go from river to river, the Indian River to the St. Johns River. So as soon as you come across the St. Johns, leaving Orange County and enter into Brevard County, start the city limits of Cocoa there. I'm happy to say that on the 524 corridor area near Brightline, we have Cirrus is building a high exclusive condo unit where traditionally used to be the old Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
So they are developing that. Nice amenities, exclusive amenities. They're going to have a launch site on top of the roof so you can catch the launches that are coming from.
Oh, that's great.
That'll be a great location.
That sounds special, man.
Yeah.
And then think for a moment, if they decide to put the terminal there on the curve, they can just get on the train and go to their next destination and be back within a few hours.
Understand. Once this happens, we could go get cigars in Tampa, go down to Miami, hop on a yacht, smoke the same cigars that we just got that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, the possibilities are just fun.
Yeah, that's great.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on in the city of Cocoa. Also, if I may share another dream, is just a little small pari-mutuel. I know that shakes up the world a little bit, but a little pari-mutuel doesn't hurt. I mean, we have it at the port, you know what I'm saying? So if we can just have them prior to going to the port, stop off in the great city of Cocoa, because all roads lead into Cocoa. 528, 524, 95 US 1. You know, so we'll be able to, look at that as an additional revenue services. We would like to expand our city boundaries. I would like to incorporate up to about a population about 30,000. Don't want it too big, not too small. The more hands we can get in the kettle, I think the better it will be. It's indicative of the quality lifestyle that you can have in the great city of Cocoa. My thing is, again, to live, pray, and stay in the great city of Cocoa and never leave Cocoa.
Yeah.
We have a lot of historical events. We just recently honored one of the matriarchs of Cocoa, Mrs. Rosa L. Jones, who broke a lot of barriers. I'm happy to say that quite a phenomenal event that took place that Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. And the thing I love about it was the diversity. Everybody could come in and identify. It's just not a one section thing, but across all demographics. And there's always room at the top. It's a wonderful
That's the way it
thing.
should be.
Absolutely. We're all God's children.
Right.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So where do you see Cocoa in the next 5 years? I mean, how much more residential development versus industrial, commercial development versus, maybe even Brightline centric businesses? Because wouldn't that be cool if we did have that terminal? All the businesses that would just
around it.
erupt like we're all around it.
Like a modern day Cocoa Village.
Yes. And the Cocoa North area needs its own identity. The Cocoa Village is historically known.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like for the Cocoa North, that's the last of the wild frontier, the horizon for it. And the beautiful thing, I like a little bit of diversity of all. Mix home use, commercial business. There again, prior to my first term as mayor,
Right.
when former Mayor Judy Parrish was on her way out, the avenues actually were supposed to be in the city of Cocoa.
Oh.
But some kind of way of business deal went south, and they went south to Vieira. But it's all good. We have a lot of undeveloped land that I would like to do.
Well, a lot of the exits are still very, there's just not a whole lot going on.
Well, there's a lot of development, a lot of land for potential development.
524,
Yeah.
520,
Right.
they're still, they're not, again, a lot of opportunities.
We're building on 520, right there on 520, right adjacent to the bus depot compound, the bus compound depot.
Okay.
I said that wrong. We have a nice exclusive rental units going there too on 520. On 524, adjacent to our fire station number 2, I think, 3. No, fire station number 3. We have a lot of development going on the 524 corridor. So eventually we will go from 2 lanes to 4 lanes because of the amount of traffic entering on that highway. And we're meeting with DOT. So the growth is there.
Right.
I want controlled growth. We only have one time to get it right.
That's
so it's
right.
imperative that we do it decent and in order.
So do you consult with the TPO and all these other agencies?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have board members there. I'm happy to say becoming reacquainted with the political arena as mayor. Just recently appointed, to the state board of mayors for the state of Florida, and also appointed back to the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust Fund. So we set up policies for over 400 plus cities throughout the state of Florida and counties. So, and guess what? The hot spot is Cocoa. We have that liquid gold, that water, 11th largest distributor in the state of Florida. The best tasting water
It's good
in
water.
the state of Florida.
How many customers do you have currently?
Over 80,000.
How much can you sustain and grow into?
The
Double?
The sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Easily.
I want to say millions, man.
The sky's the limit.
You got water forever.
Absolutely, pretty much.
Yeah.
We can draw down from my Mormon brothers, Orange County, City of Orlando, and the Army Corps of Engineers, Taylor Creek, right off 520. Just before you get on the exit for 528, you'll see the big pond there, Dow plant, the Dow water plant. So my esteemed colleagues had the ability to secure a deal with the multiple cities and counties, and my good Mormon brothers and the Army Corps of Engineers. We were able to consummate a deal. So that's going to catapult us into the next century. And that's my thing, to leave that positive legacy so that when we turn over the baton, others can take this plan and run with it
Move
you know,
forward.
Right.
Yes, and that's what it's all about.
Right. And it's good you've thought about all the different, the roadways, the land development, and the different types of land development, residential, commercial, things like that. But then also, how are you going to sustain all the growth of population? Because, if they're going to be working in the city, you want them to live in the city. So, and then that water, is important too, of course, because they need that water for
And you also have to work in
sustainability.
Yes.
the affordable housing and all
Right.
that stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And that's the awesome community development group
Mm-hmm.
we have that's been doing an awesome job. And again, I attribute that to our city manager, Stockton Woodton, and the staff members there that support our city and the city of Cocoa, of course, the council. And we have to look into the future. It tells you if you don't have a vision, you're going to perish.
Right.
Yeah,
And I want to not only survive but thrive.
Right.
for everybody.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, we're all kind of in the real estate business, the three of us, Jesse, John, and myself. So you said that residential is going to grow, but with that income that you were talking about, so you're going to see some residential growth there from people that maybe were renting at one point that now can afford the affordable housing, and being able to purchase homes and things like that.
And appreciating values.
Right. And it's going to increase the income level within the communities as well, and then also the housing ability too. So
well, that's the American
new
dream.
construction, right? Exactly.
Get a
That's
good job.
what everybody wants.
Get the home. And again, there's such things as starter jobs. Entry level jobs at minimum wage, and then
Right.
there's also entry level homes.
Right.
And they should correlate. You should be able to get $17 an hour, and after taxes, still afford.
Right.
That because we all have that. That's an income. And if you're making $1,100 a month and you're spending all $1,100 on a rental. That's not.
Yeah.
No.
You're never going to get ahead. You're not going to eat, let alone get ahead.
Right.
It's not living.
Right.
That's
Right.
not living. And we have
No.
programs.
Right.
You all are elaborating about first-time home buyers.
Right.
And then in lieu of that, if we have employees that want to live in the city of Cocoa, we have a program that will entice them to move into the city of Cocoa. I'm happy to say, like my firefighters, my police department, people working with Lyona Utilities and Public Works. So to me, when you invest in people, it's a win-win situation.
Yep.
Right.
You can't lose on people. To me, because being an educator, I'm this way now, but 20 years from now, when I'm even a little more seasoned than what I am now, the same young man or young lady that I taught or educated may be the same person that's going to take care of me.
You. Right.
So
Right.
you have to be mindful, and then that's the beautiful thing about when you soak seeds into people, man. It's a great investment.
Right.
That's something
It's the
that
best
money,
investment.
right? And money can't buy that, and that's the thing I'm about, promoting human beings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You mentioned making calculated growth because because you have to have some foreshadowing. You have to actually be that person who looks at not what we need today, but because I can't tell you how many road projects. They were budgeted 8 years ago. They finally got through all the red tape, and now they're actually, breaking ground and getting it done. But it's like,
And it's already out of date.
but since then, it's archaic. Like all that whole plan was 10 years old.
Right.
And getting through red tape and all that bureaucracy, that's huge. And I'll probably follow up with that as well. But the main thing is, using that green space. Actually setting some space that really can't be touched, and sometimes that happens by default because it's a marsh area or protected species of plants or animals. So you really can't touch them anyway. And but I wanted to share because I think we have a very unique opportunity there, especially where Clear Lake and 520 meet, going all like we're talking more west Cocoa, past 95. We have such a unique opportunity because I feel like there at one time there may be a development going out that stretch. And to have an equal amount of green space and then plus utilities, not putting in the sewer or water, in 20 years, but doing it first and then paving over it, or expanding the road and incorporating sidewalks and all the other infrastructure. I really think that's the opportunity. And looking at models like Vieira, which has been awarded, and they drink your fine water.
Absolutely.
And they're an award-winning community, and they kind of do some things right. Underground utilities, very calculated, methodic. The next 20 years is planned out. How much have you contributed to that 20-year plan, and do you have like a committee of people who are doing this as well. And what does that look like?
We have a sustainability group, a
Uh-huh.
resiliency committee that meet once a month.
Okay.
And they bring us information. This year, they
Right.
disseminate the information that they've received. And as I alluded to you earlier,
Right.
I want to go from river to river.
Right.
That's the ideal thing.
Mhm.
And all that undeveloped land that we don't have but one time to
Right.
construct and erect buildings, homes, commercial businesses, and residential. And that's the only way that we can bring in additional businesses because of rooftops. I get
Right.
the big picture and the big scheme of things.
Right.
But I want, as well as you talk about Vieira, their exclusive homes. I want the $1 million homes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of
I want
course.
the half
Yeah.
$1 million homes.
On the river, St. John's River.
Absolutely,
that'd be-
ma'am. You got it, sister.
Yep.
That'd be a beaut.
Yep.
I mean,
That's-
we're all boaters. We all enjoy boats.
Yes,
And
indeed. Yes, indeed.
some nice riverfront property on St. John's River
Absolutely. And
with your own boat
Yep.
dock.
I like some fresh water and I like some salt water.
Mm-hmm.
you got the best of both worlds.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
We
So
sure do.
you can travel
We
intercoastal
sure do.
on the salt water, and if you want to go up to St. John's River, you eventually end up in Jacksonville or
Yeah.
wherever.
Get that airboat.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even a little pontoon boat,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, you can tan your buns in the Florida sun.
Yep.
All in where? Hot chocolate, baby.
Hot
Yeah.
Just come to the hot chocolate. That's all you have to do.
I'm gonna have a hard time not
That's
saying
right.
that all
I
weekend.
know.
Me too.
A business, and I bring this up because great people, Dirty Ore.
Right. Yes.
They
Familiar with
big
Yes.
supporters of the City of Cocoa Police.
Yes.
In fact, one of your detectives and a ex-Cocoa police officer have used this studio right here, and Dirty Ore was a great sponsor of theirs. Anyway, they're having their 4th anniversary party this weekend, so they're celebrating their 4th anniversary as a brewery. Right next door, the old Normans.
Right.
You know, Mr. Norman had to retire, and so there's all kinds of businesses happening there. How excited are you about some of these new businesses coming in, and what do you do to kind of incentivize businesses? Because you mentioned getting Amazons and the WalMarts. What are you doing as a mayor to kind of like hold that carrot and get them in here?
That's where you have that exclusive dialogue with the business owners and our community development
Yeah.
director, Charlene Nuderman.
Yeah.
Does a phenomenal job. Are you talking about Doug Monda?
Doug Monday.
Yeah, I know the man. Yeah, quite natural. Mr. Triathlon,
Yeah.
Mr. Universe.
I was gonna drop a name, but
We're great minds.
Yeah.
All of us think alike. Yeah, Doug is a quality man. He's done some great things for the city of Cocoa, and I sincerely do appreciate him.
yeah.
Also dealing with Dirty Ore, we had I had the opportunity to go there and sit down and have a few suds and talk with the business owner, and
Yeah,
Dale-
Paul and Chris are great
Yes.
guys. Yep.
Dale Coxwell brought me in and introduced me to them, and a host of other individuals too. But the thing is, communication brings on cooperation. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that open dialogue. Everybody has a compromise. You know what I'm saying? In order to give, you got to get, and in order to get, you got to give.
Right.
So that's the beautiful thing about it. And what we would like to do, 10 Whiskey, the old Normans, which they're renovating now. That's the next hot,
Beautiful.
yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
topic of town right about
Right.
now. Main corridor, 520. What's that, Florida Avenue?
Also known as King Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, King Street.
All roads lead to Cocoa.
That's it. Hot chocolate, baby.
Hot chocolate,
Hot
baby.
chocolate, baby. A good friend of mine also, too, they just recently bought the old SunTrust Bank. They're going to shoot me right now. Give me a minute. Being seasoned now sometime. I don't take Prevagen, at least not yet, but
Well, the old SunTrust.
Summit, and
Okay.
his father, Michael Shaw. The Shaws just
Shaw,
recently
yeah.
bought the SunTrust building, and they're going to bring a major coffee cartel.
Oh.
Some will say Starbucks, but you're not supposed to say that. But and also bring a commercial retailer there. So the clear diversity.
Yeah.
Again, all roads come through Cocoa, but I like the diversity. The multiple different businesses.
Yeah.
On the north side, you have Oleander Point there. Whitley Bay rather. And on the south side is Oleander Point and all the other condo units.
Right.
They're beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. And we had, because of court litigations, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a big piece of land that we're trying to develop on the south side of Cocoa Village so that we can unite it all. And eventually one day have a little trolley system that can go in and out.
Nice.
and intermingle with the citizens and
Oh, man, that'll be fun.
businesses. Oh, absolutely.
So much fun.
Absolutely. And then get
And I'm sure SCAT is, I'm sure they're prepared. They have trolleys.
Yes.
So I mean, it's already kind of built in. You just it just does a circle instead of going out on the road and everything else.
Can I shine a little
Oh,
light,
please.
additional light? Just let me plant the seed and see.
Yes.
Somewhere in Cocoa,
Yeah.
preferably the north area. This is why I say the north area. The
Right.
north area needs its own identity. Cocoa Village has their own nostalgic look, but the north area needs to have the urban type technological advancement.
Right.
And to me, just think about this: have an automated system that if it's there on the 524 corridor, right behind Walmart, where the little curve is at, the little tunnel, is to have an old nostalgic trolley system that will cross maybe US 1, and you take the slow road back to the Cocoa downtown village, the River Edge Drive, and you see the old style Southern plantation type homes there, and some modernization homes there, small and quaint, 25, 30 miles an hour. I mean, you just get on that trolley system or whatever, automated system, and you just relax. And then you get to the downtown Cocoa Village, and you have all the exclusive hotels, motels that's coming, and also, like you said, food, Cafe Margot, Black Tulip, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a beautiful vision right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
But I like the automated part.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're talking about like drone taxis
sir.
or something come back and
Yeah.
forth.
Absolutely. Orlando. I think, Buddy Dyer, my man.
Buddy
yeah.
Dyer.
That's my boy. Old Buddy has an automated system, I think, somewhere how they can navigate us all.
Every time you get on the trolley at the airport, he speaks on there.
Yeah.
This is Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Mayor Buddy Dyer. Look at him. And he's done some great things for the city of Cocoa.
So I have a question. You
Go ahead.
mentioned design, kind of looking at modern, the modern architecture and things like that for that North Cocoa area. But as Cocoa Village starts to kind of rebirth, because it's been
It's like a little renaissance.
right, it's just kind of, it goes through cycles. Or is there plans to keep any new construction kind of architectural historic in architectural style so that it keeps that nostalgia and that history?
That is our commitment to the citizens
Cool.
and businesses of the Cocoa downtown
Okay.
village and the central business district.
Because there's
as
a lot
well.
of history there.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think keeping some of that just
the
is
Porsche,
important.
yes, the Porsche house.
Yes.
The Porsches from South Carolina. The ladies would go there and play cards. I mean, it has a multi-purpose. We have businesses there. If you ever go to the Porsche house, you can see like the Ace of Spades, the Diamond, the Hearts,
yeah.
all card games there. I'm happy to say my grandfather helped construct the Porsche house many, many years ago. And I'm not going to talk about old Cocoa, but I'm going to talk about the new and great Cocoa. But yes, you're right. There's a lot of historical meaning there. Our first library in the city of Cocoa is the Leisure Services. Before we were at the Cocoa Today newspaper, where the Cocoa Public Library was at. I remember as a young spud when I had hair, we would go to the Leisure Service for a public library and check out books and so forth. So yes, and next door is St. Mark's. So we have that area, and it's developing, and
a
we're
nice
going to get
area.
mooring fields since we have people that love the aquatics and water, like myself, and we would like to entice that group as they come along. They're in a coastal, stop off, and, take a little break.
So does Cocoa have like a historical society where you kind of keep a hold of them gems and,
Yes, sir.
and
We
preserve them?
have what we call the skeeter beaters.
Skeeter beaters.
Skeeter beaters, man. Yeah, when Cocoa, pop, pop, pop,
Yep.
outside of citrus, the mosquitoes would carry you away, man. But yes, we do have a nostalgia group that will
That's
protect the
great.
heritage of that. Yes, sir.
It's important.
Yes, indeed.
So, Mayor, I got to ask, what is your favorite historical fact?
About Cocoa?
Yeah.
The only city to have water to go to the moon and back.
That's true.
The only one, baby.
Yeah.
You dealt with the rest, now deal with the best. Settle for them, but come and be with number one.
That's awesome.
So Cocoa had the first water on the moon.
Water on the moon and back. So they were I guess, yeah. Well, shower to shower up there during the time of Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, and all that group. Yeah.
That water was floating around up
That's
there.
it, brother.
That was cocoa water.
That cocoa water was floating around
Just
up
still
there.
orbiting.
That's it,
Yeah,
man.
just drops it.
Somewhere. I feel like Jackie Gleason, to the moon.
That's awesome. And finally, what's your favorite pastime, or maybe just like a favorite memory growing up in Cocoa that was, I don't know, something special that you still remember and recall to this day that just really meant a lot?
The various different shops.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can go downtown and meet friends. A lot of firsts took place on both sides of the tracks, and you could cater to everyone's needs and wants at that time. Like my family would go fishing. Dr. Jolie Smith's mother, Mrs. Annabelle Smith, and my grandmother, Bertha Blake, that Indian River fed the families, and they would go down there and eat. I think about my boy along the Travis Hardware, Mac Osborne.
Yeah, fishing.
Yes, fishing and getting oysters.
Yeah. And clams. Remember oysters and clams in the river? Man.
Yes.
Indian River was on the menu.
It
Absolutely.
was, for
Indian
sure.
River oysters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember as a boy, my dad taking me fishing and oystering. Just the best times.
Absolutely.
Never forget them.
Cocoa, capital of the world. You know, trout.
Yep.
You know, we had the trout capital of the world.
Redfish,
we have nostalgic.
snook.
Yeah, right there. And, you know, pineapples.
Yeah.
People didn't know that cocoa traditionally had pineapples.
Yeah.
Got love for Hawaii, but in the Dole company out there, but cocoa was the place,
That's
man.
true.
So
lot of
much to
Brevard.
offer. Yes, and both, you know, both. Even though we come from different tribes, we belong to one race. That's the human race, because
Human
we're all
race.
God's people. You know, we're human mankind. That's what
That's
it's
right.
all
That's right.
about.
We're mankind.
So when we can get together as a group of people, because there's power in numbers,
Yep.
and they can't stop us when people come together under one accord and doing what's best for the community. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great feeling that just you can't taste it, you can't label it, you can't identify it, but you know you're at the right place with the right time, have your face in the place with the human race. And that's what it's all about, man.
That's right.
I like that.
It's a good
That
feeling.
sounds rehearsed.
No, that's
I like
straight
that.
from the
On
heart.
the heart.
Just channeling. I like
Yeah.
that.
If your primary objective is to help people, then everything else follows.
That's
Exactly.
why we're in it, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's again. Excuse me. Here again. I get a little happy, so it's flowing.
Get happy.
His
Get happy.
laxia comes out.
But anyway, hot chocolate, baby.
Hot
chocolate.
chocolate.
Caliente. Caliente. Yes. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal.
I've had a great time. But we got to close the show eventually. Mayor, what would you say is like probably one of the most cool hidden things that nobody really knows about Cocoa?
Boy, we have a lot to offer, sir. I
I
mean,
know.
it all depends on what section of Cocoa you want to go to. I mean, as a young spud growing up at Cocoa High School, we had the artesian wells. You know, we had Mud Lake, which is Lake Diane now, and we're trying
Mud
to
Lake.
rejuvenate that.
Okay.
Conservation gives some stimulation and growth there to protect that area. Also, if you go, like you said, West Cocoa on the 520 corridor, the thing is that Tucker Lane, because the city of Rockledge trying to steal some cocoa. Yeah, they crossed 95.
Uh-oh.
They crossed 95 and purchased some land that time. Man, it's Rockledge. You know, they call Cocoa North Rockledge. No, man, we call them South Cocoa. And now West Cocoa now since they moved across 95 to there. Lake Poinsett fishing. You know what I'm saying? So whatever makes your boat float.
Yeah.
We have what it takes to keep you here, pray here, live here, and educate yourself here. Because think about it. Look at City of Cocoa. You can go within a quarter of a mile. You can go from elementary pre-K to junior, senior high school to a 4-year degree and postgraduate, UCF.
Right there in Cocoa.
Right there in Cocoa. And never leave the confinement of really your home. I mean, we're talking about a couple of miles.
Down the street.
Yeah.
And something we didn't talk about,
Go ahead.
Cocoa football.
Now
Number
that
one in the county.
Kudos to Coach Snyder and his staff, also to Principal Rashad Wilson. There's power in numbers, as we stated. The teamwork is dream work. when we all work under one accord, when we all work for the common goal and believe in the process, because the process will not fail you. As long as you believe in the process and be patient, it will prevail. I promise you. I promise you.
Coco's had a good history of football.
Yes, indeed. We have been very fortunate, and girls too.
Yeah, a lot of good
Asia
sports.
Patrick, yes. Softball. Our girls softball kicked a little Ronnie Tony. Yeah. So I'm proud to say, we have a lot to offer at Cocoa High School. We're a firm believer in not athletics, because every time I look in the dictionary, academics comes before athletics. And we had
That's right.
the greatest
Student athletes.
Absolutely,
Students come
sir.
first.
The highest graduating population of student athletes in Brevard County.
Nice.
Cocoa. Also, we have the highest rate of graduation and enrollment for dual enrollment, both high school and college.
Wow.
Yep.
Cocoa.
Awesome.
Hidden secret. You asked some phenomenal questions, brother.
Yep. Some great schools.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, everybody has, whatever they think, but I can't worry about what they think. I have to worry about what we do as a community, and we're going to do our best and make sure it's decent.
That's how you lead.
So let's talk about rivalries.
Okay.
Because I know you've been throwing some shade to Rockledge. I haven't heard anything to like Port St. John, so they may be a better neighbor. Cocoa Beach, you're not a fan of. What about Merritt Island?
We played them, man.
Yeah.
They kick off whatever.
Right.
Old school kickoff classic. Coach Hurley Brown is doing a great job. He's changed that program around. Just give him a few more years. I mean, they gave Cocoa a run for their money, even though it's a 21-point deficit. Still, Coach Hurley Brown. I mean, he's
Just
making
21 points.
Yeah, just 21.
3 touchdowns.
Last minute,
Right.
last minute, and then we went to Vero Beach, played the Indians, Vero Beach High School, went into overtime, and the boys got a little, hey man, every time you go in that bathroom, you know what you're gonna smell, so check yourself before you wreck yourself. So remember, you're still human, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Now Rockledge, that goes back, man,
Right.
Since Moses spread the Red Sea. That's how far that goes back. But I got love for Rockledge. I really do.
Well, they got the claim to fame, the first incorporated city.
Yeah, in Brevard County.
Right.
They just beat you to it.
That's it.
Mayor Price is probably going to listen and go, what? Say something. Say something, Mike.
You all have to understand, I have to travel through Rockledge, get back to Cocoa. Even if I take 95, they'll be out there on 95.
That's true.
Fisk and 95.
Fisk.
Where's Michael Blake?
You'll be hoping Mayor Malik on Cocoa Beach gives you refuge.
Yes,
okay, sir.
absolutely.
You could use A1A and then head back north.
Scooch on around.
Yes. But it's good. It's good, clean fun. That's the beautiful thing about it. And that's what it's all about, man. When the communities come together, there's power in numbers, man. Can't stop us. We are family. We are family.
I'm gonna say, even though you've got that rivalry with Rockledge, I'm sure you guys work well together.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have to, being that you're such close proximity.
Yes, one of my council members, Deputy Mayor Alex Goins, is a graduate of Rockledge High School.
Okay.
And for the last few years, we've been, so I politely remind him, don't forget who signs your check in the city.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't try to recruit the little kids to go to Rockledge High School or Rockledge Little League football. Keep them in Cocoa. Coach Williams is doing, Rashad Williams and his staff, they're doing a great job there at Stradley Park for our Cocoa youth football. Got to invest in our youth, man. They're today's success, but tomorrow's future.
So tell me about that football. I mean, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it is. On the other side of 95, the big rec center of football field, baseball field. What was the development? What happened with that? And what's the purpose?
Okay.
Do we have all night?
No.
You talking about the Space Coast Sport Complex?
Yeah, adjacent
I
to
didn't
Mike
even know what it was
Erdman.
called. Right.
Yeah, adjacent to Mike Erdman.
Nissan.
Nissan, Mike Erdman, yeah.
Toyota.
Yeah, right. Mike, get back to me.
No.
I got opportunity for you. No. Well, with Erdman, we need some sponsors.
There you go.
I could more than happy to talk about Nissan products.
So tell us about that sports complex.
Basically went into bankruptcy.
Okay.
And the bank took over, and I guess they will resolve that.
Okay.
But can I say something to you? Speaking of Mike Erdman, can you say Field of
Dreams?
You said it.
They build it. You build it, they'll come.
They'll come.
Now remember where it came from. Hot chocolate. There you go.
Could the city purchase that and use that for?
But you know how banks move.
Yeah,
Well, right. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
banks
unfortunately, maybe Mayor Blake may not be mayor then, but you know.
I would rather a private entrepreneur purchase it, and simply because then we have to expand our horizon.
Right. Less.
Our plate is full already.
Right.
Yep.
No, that makes sense.
But no. But
could be a lot of great development for the community as well.
Absolutely.
Little league teams coming to play.
Kid growing up, we used to watch the Houston Astros.
Yep.
Play right there. Several.
What would
Oh,
make
yeah.
I mean, spring training, absolutely.
Spring training.
That's when Vieira. I mean, I think the
lost Brevard.
Vieira had the Marlins back then. I think even so we're talking like 20 years ago spring training.
Yeah, we Washington Nationals recently.
Right.
Yeah, and then Washington Nationals most recently.
Right.
But USSSA, not for nothing, but if they ever needed to expand into a couple baseball diamonds, not that they may, but that would be a smart move for them because then they could even have more tournaments, more matches going on, outside of the main facility. But who knows? Maybe they've already eyed it. But yeah, hopefully the right talent gets in there, does something remarkable and fun with it. And yeah, maybe Erdman, Toyota, and Nissan is going to be behind it. We'll have to see. Nonetheless, all that corridor I think is going to be really fun to watch in the next couple years. Cocoa does have a bright future, and just going to wrap this all up. I have one final question. Maybe we'll do a round table if you guys have any final questions. And this, I know there's going to be a stretch. And I'm going to pull this out of you. And I know what your answer. I know Cocoa is your favorite place.
Yes, sir.
But if you could choose anywhere else to live in the whole entire world, where would it be? Come on, dig deep.
Jesse, you're gonna get me kicked out of the wheel. Cocoa, Jesse.
We know the original answer, but just it's a big world.
Okay, here we go. To be honest, I enjoyed myself in the state of South Carolina. I attended school in Orangeburg, South Carolina, South Carolina State University. To me, South Carolina has a historical legacy all by itself, but a lot of great people live there, and I do love South Carolina. I'm not going to use past tense, but I do love South Carolina because of the impact and the overall development of what took place with me when I graduated from Cocoa High School and went to South Carolina State. Neely Dunn and his beautiful wife, Betty Dunn, and a host of other individuals, Zach Thomas, Todd Adderley, a lot of military personnel. A lot of people went from Cocoa to South Carolina State, and I'm happy to say that I would love to go back. It's just reminiscing.
Right.
And I like the old nostalgic type of atmosphere, like city of Charleston and so forth.
So cool.
Reminiscing of
absolutely
beautiful downtown Cocoa Village. And, you get the different marsh areas there as well. And you go to Columbia, and it's a different atmosphere, military base. And if you go to Greenville in the Piedmont area, you got
Greenville's beautiful.
Yes, sir. Those nasty Clemson Tiger fans out there, Sun Valley, whatever it's called, Death Sun Valley. But it's, you get a mixture of everything, and that's the beautiful thing about it. So to me, I like South Carolina. I really do, and it's good weather. Good weather.
Oh, beautiful, and they have seasons.
Yes,
their leaves turn, and and it's the mountains. I mean, great answer.
Autumn.
Anybody else to learn a little bit more about it?
Can I click my heels 3 times? So maybe okay, I feel like Judy Garland. But go ahead, brother. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, no pressure if you guys don't have any last-minute questions.
Says who?
He's in the hot spot.
Well, yeah, the bright lights are on you, Mayor.
He's in the hot seat.
Absolutely.
I don't have any questions, but I would like to say what a great honor it is to have you here today.
Amen.
And you're a great personality and a great leader, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Captain John. I appreciate it, sir. It's a pleasure to be amongst friends.
Yeah.
And I mean that with all of my heart, not the bottom of my heart, because nothing but slug and catfish and flounders in the bottom of your heart. Give it all to me, all or none. You know what I'm saying? Forget the bottom.
Right.
But I thank you all.
Well, I tell you, it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. When we met back in the day at school there at Clear Lake Middle School, I just fell in love with Mike Blake. Just his personality, his his passion, his love
Yeah.
for the students, for everything that he comes in contact with.
We can see why.
You can definitely, you can see it in him. You can feel it in his presence. The love that he has for the human race, like you've said, but for Cocoa. And you've done a lot of great things for the city of Cocoa, and I think there's a lot of great things to come.
Thank you, Michelle.
Likewise, thank you for being a good steward.
Thank
I mean, it really sounds like there's no choices made before going through the heart.
Right.
And that's I think where hopefully our leaders can be, more like so. Anyway, I commend you because I think more leaders should come from the heart and not from the brain or even from the wallet.
Right.
So thank you for doing that. I think
Amen.
City of Cocoa is blessed to have you.
But it's a pleasure being the great city of Cocoa. I'm just glad they open up their arms to include me in their circle. So I'll just leave it like that. And it's been a pleasure being here to you all and to Space Coast.
Yeah.
I thank you, real estate. I thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. John, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, this is John Maselli with Movement Mortgage, loanapplyapprove.com. Don't forget, I'm a Homes for Heroes. We're here with 2 teachers, so heroes.loanapplyapprove.com.
Excellent.
Nice.
Michelle
Carpenter, Inspiring Home Staging and Redesign. We are here. We do give discounts to our military as well. So we're military supporters, and we'll pass it on to our law enforcement and school teachers as well. And you can reach us at 321-806-6543. Inspiring Homes Staging and Redesign. Website's Inspiring Homes 321.
And this is Jesse Hall once again with EXP. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Space Coast Real Estate Show. Until next episode. Be great, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.